All right, guys, we're back at it. On with the 8-ball tournament. Sorry, the camera's a little bit wonky. It's not perfect. We didn't have a whole lot of time to reset here. Switch to the other side of the room. Just trying to zoom out a little bit for you so it's not so wonky. Give me a second. All right, that's about as good as it's going to get for tonight, guys. We can try and reset this a little bit later and square it up. But the action match that we just streamed went a little bit longer than we had anticipated. The 8-ball tournament just got underway. So there was, and Ben and Grant are both playing in the first round here, so a little bit of scrambling just to get our cameras turned around and whatever. Didn't have a whole lot of time, so this is as good as it's gonna get for tonight. See if we can fix it for tomorrow. But we got a doozy of a first match here for you. This is Kevin Osborne and Steve Wilton. We had 34 entries, $80 a piece. That included the green fees. We're playing 8-ball on the 7-foots, racing a 7 and 5. So 7 on the A side and 5 on the B side. Overcut the 7 just slightly. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Jim, I know it's not terrible, but my OCD is kicking in a little bit, and I'd really like to get the camera square to the table. Thanks for tuning in. We haven't seen much of Steve Wilton on the streams. He hasn't in the past taken too much time on the weekends to play these tournaments, but I have a feeling we're going to see more of them. So 34 players, 8-ball on the 7-foots, BCA rules, no concessions. What else was happening here? Alternate breaks. No cell phones at the table. No headphones. Uh-oh, gonna kick the cue ball in. Ozzy's gonna get ball in hand here. He does have a couple of trouble balls. 6-ball, locked up in between the 9 and the 13. 7-ball does not have a clear path to that corner, but fairly easy to go rail first off the 11. 3-ball does go to the bottom left corner as long as he clears that 5-ball out. Not the easiest of outs, but can be done. You can see Ben's little legs in the left table there. I'm not sure if he's got enough of that 6-ball to make him. Pretty sure he does. We do have the draw up on challenge as well. I will see if I can get somebody to pin that draw up to the chat there for you guys. Just need a second to pull up YouTube as well. I am following along on the chat on YouTube, guys, if you have anything to say. I'm holding down the fort on my own. Both Grant and Ben are playing. They're so lucky to have me. Ozzy's going to get on the board first. Jarrett's asking how Sean Yee is doing. We just started, Jarrett. This is the first rounds. And I don't know. I don't think Sean is actually playing yet. I think he's probably on the second round of the tables. We do have 8 of them going. David Wilson, you saw that, eh? The little chicken legs. You know, Ben typically plays so good, he doesn't really give much about his legs. As long as he can get up to a table, he's good. You're welcome, Jarrett. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. Would really appreciate it if you guys shared the stream, spread the word. We are underway. We did advertise that this tournament was capped at 64, and it was going to be Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. We did get 34 players, so we got about half. The weather is just so nice, and people are so busy. Camping, golfing, fishing, all that kind of stuff. We did have 34 diehards that would rather sit in an air-conditioned pool hall. So we are going to try our best to get through 2 rounds of the A side tonight and hopefully finish up by tomorrow night instead of going into Sunday. We're going to try and leave Sunday free for everyone for whatever they need to do. A little bit of a messy situation they got going on at this table.
Yeah, I found it. It's just a second. Yeah. Just one?
You can hear the wheels turning in Steve's head. He's really trying to think this table out. There's just so many situations that require a little bit of opening. This is Kevin at the table here. Opting for the high ball. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you back. Thanks for tuning in. Not gonna lie, you guys, I've missed 8-ball over the pandemic. Haven't played much of it. We've been playing a lot of ghost pool at home, 9-ball, 10-ball. I really did have to think about how to rack a rack of 8-ball. The first when I first got here. Been about 18 months, you kind of forget how to do it. Steve's in a bit of a tricky situation here. Trying to land on that 2 or bump that 2-ball out. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Off the rail, off the 13. No, that 13 is sitting just outside of the pocket, so that would have been tough. Needs the right angle here. Looking at going short side to the 2. Maybe take the 1-ball first with the right angle on the 7 to go into the 213. That was a good effort. I'm sitting right in line with that 2-ball to the lower right corner pocket. It does not pass the 8.
Besides tomorrow, right? Besides tomorrow? Greg's asking this is gonna leave. Greg Marshall. Lost 7-0.
Give me 1 second, guys. I just have a question with the draw. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Just had a question about the draw. Had to make sure that the tournament was running. Ben has become victorious of his first victim. Defeated Rick Marshall, who came all the way in from BC. So the draw is posted there in the comments, guys. I'm going to try and save that so that we have a copy of that here. All right, what'd I miss? I missed a game, guys. Who just won that one? Aussie? Looks like somebody is at 2, so I would assume Aussie won that one. 2-0 for Kevin over Steve. Thank you, guys. Sorry, I was gone longer than I thought. These guys play pretty sporty, pretty fast, so does not surprise me. Good break by Kevin there. Good spread. I think I do prefer high ball over low. Paul Richens, how dare you duck me? I thought you were gonna play. So as I mentioned, guys, we did advertise this tournament as 64 player cap. We did only get 34 players due to the fantastic weather we're having out there. Long weekend, everybody's camping and golfing and all that kind of family time stuff. But we did have 34 die-hard pool players that would rather sit in an air-conditioned pool hall. So we're going to try and get through two rounds of the A side tonight. Starting tomorrow with a B side round. A side will get to sleep in, which is the perk of staying on the A side. And hopefully we'll get to finish out the tournament by tomorrow night. We're going to try and make it so that we don't have to go into Sunday, so these guys can have a free day. I am following along with the chat on YouTube as well, guys. Marcel, Rob, yes, thank you. I got it. 2-1. Makes it 3 for Kevin there. Ah, Polly, you should have messaged me. Message me. Why have you not learned yet? Go straight to the horse's mouth. I would have got you in. Sorry, Paul. Started the draw already. We've already gone into the second round of them, so. Lesson learned. Message us directly. Do not go through Vino. Sorry, buddy. A little bit close to the work. I don't think he wanted to be sitting so close to that 14 ball. Just having a look at the 9 or 11 as an alternative. He's having a hard time with the jacking up on this ball. His right hand is hitting the lights. Brett Bear says, maybe they didn't want you in, Paul. And I will tell you that is false. That's a false statement, if you're asking me. It's always great to have Paul Richens in the room. Great shooter. But that would be a Vino move. That would be a Mark move. Hey, Paul? A little bit of action in the room tonight on the 9-foots. There's lots of stuff going on. We do have some road warriors in from Saskatchewan. I'm sure you just watched Johnry and Nick play on the 9-foot. That was a clincher right to the very end. As much as I saw Nick was kind of trailing the whole match. Made some catch up kind of around the 12 mark. Brings it neck and neck to 14. And comes out victorious over Janry. I think the final score was 17-15, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a friendly 2,000 apiece, I believe. The money matches keep going in here. Lots of action. So if you're in the area, stop on in. Lots of pool to watch. Ooh, 5-ball just trickles in. There is supposed to be another action match going on tonight. Ben Francis and Aaron Arganoza from Saskatchewan, they are supposed to play the same amount for later this evening. It was supposed to go before the 8-ball tournament started, but the match between Nick and Jean-Marie took so long, a little bit longer than anticipated, that they just didn't have time. So it may go tonight. We will have to see. A little bit of a defensive shot there by Steve. That was very nicely done. Just a few more balls here for Steve to claw one back. Just roll forward slightly here for the 8-ball on the bottom right. Nicely done to bring the match within one. 3-2 for Ozzy over Steve. David Wilson asking if the Invitational, the CSL Invitational tournament is happening anytime soon. I would say probably not soon, but I would say it is a high possibility happening August of next year. Not quite enough time for us to get things rolling for this August. But I would say next August is highly likely. Nice break there. Joey was a clincher right to the very end. The games that I saw when I first got here, Nick was trailing 8-3. And then it kind of got a little closer in the middle, within 2 around the 12 mark. Ends up going 14-14. And I think I didn't get to watch the very end. I was trying to get the 8-ball tournament going, but I believe the final score was 17-15 for Nick over Jean-Marie. Next big tournament coming up, I think, is the Stampede Bar Box. That's happening in a couple weekends from today. I believe it's the weekend of the 18th, whatever that is. So I guess 2 weekends from now. I don't believe we're streaming that one, but that is one of our local halls here in Calgary. Always a great turnout, great people there. So if you're in the area, check out that tournament. Will probably be the biggest one of the summer. Great run by Ozzy there. Sorry guys, I was just confirming with Ben who won his match. It's not bad, eh? We did a quick little table spin on the cameras because we didn't have a whole lot of time to set up for the 8-ball on the opposite side of the room. So we quickly just kind of got to the monitor and tilted the table to a side view. Jimmy rigged the camera somehow. It's a little wonky, so I apologize for the unevenness of the picture on the screen, but maybe we can try and square that up for tomorrow. But things just got so underway so quickly. We didn't have a whole lot of
I think
chance.
not even for tomorrow. I think we can do it for the next match. If there's going to be another match.
We're going to try and get through 2 rounds of the A today so that you guys can sleep in tomorrow.
Not me, but you guys.
You guys as, okay, well, so the A side can sleep in the morning, bring back the B side early, and hopefully we can bang out the 34 players in tomorrow night rather than going into Sunday.
Is that the plan?
That is what we're aiming to do.
Cool. Nobody minds having Sunday off.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like either extend the races and drag it into Sunday, or just keep the races the same, bang it out, and have Sunday free. So we're going to see if we can do that. Mark is asking, oh, thanks, David and Joey. So Stampede Bar Box, July 16 to 18. That's happening at one of the local halls here in Calgary,
guys want
probably the
something to drink?
biggest tournament of the summer.
You good?
So definitely try and check that one out if you're going to be around the area.
So happy now, but I'm the soupiest, happiest.
There's Nick chirping in Ben's ear, telling
Here,
him how
here,
happy
Nick,
he is.
thank all your fans.
Hi, it's Nick here from Nick's Q Innovation. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Bye.
What a grind, Nick.
They're all huge fans. Everybody cheering you. Not one person said, "Come on, January." They all said, "Let's go, Nick."
I will watch it later.
You played so good at the end. So good at the end. Yeah.
Did you post it already on Facebook?
Oh yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Confidence, right? Confidence.
You gotta go
did it.
click the 3 little dots and save it, so you always have it. Yeah.
Mark's asking
And just
if,
fast forward to the end because you don't want to watch the
Yeah,
start.
not the first.
Wow. No, I'm good. Mark's asking if Grant is going to give a discount out to Jam Up, and I will inquire with him. He's just in the middle of a match at this moment, so either Ben and I will try to remember to ask him if he's going to do that.
I will try to remember. Absolutely, Mark. Jarrett, my first match went really good.
Overly good.
It was like 25 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw you bouncing around that table.
I mishit like 2 breaks and got lucky and made a ball and had a wide open look. The other ones I hit perfect and had a wide open look.
Rick was probably really happy for you.
And one time I had to break out a ball. In 7 racks. Once I had to
Gross.
break out a ball. Yeah, it was gross. And Rick, he didn't really make a mistake. I think he made 2 mistakes. 1 dry break. It was like crazy. Sometimes the way it can go. Adam is in the room, says the pool gods were not in his favor against Larry. And Adam, you needed them to be. Larry is
He's
a
tough.
machine.
He's tough.
Very, very tough. And a lot of Calgary players are very tough. I was just going to say, kind of like this guy, very tough, 8 ball and a 7 foot, but then he missed a ball. Maybe strategically placed.
Well, you know, there's not a whole lot of diamonds in the city other than in the halls. So these guys are a little rusty. I'm glad to see Steve playing a little bit more. He typically has not played a whole lot of weekend tournaments. He had family and stuff going on a lot of the time, so but I think that we're going to see a little bit more of him around.
Pre-lockdown, yeah, he wasn't playing a lot. Not as much as he used to. But the kids were young, you know. Now
Yeah.
they're getting a little bit older. It's a little easier to get away.
Little bit.
Few people love the game more than Steve and study the game more than Steve.
Yeah.
He really pays attention. We have lots of really good chats about the game.
He's one of those guys that, you know, pays his dues too, you know, like he's not afraid to, you know, throw 20, 40 bucks around for cheap sets just to
And
get
he
some cheap lessons.
And he shouldn't be,
Yeah.
because usually he's the one giving the lesson. And he's been in some, I would say, medium-sized action lately and been faring well.
Nice.
Playing, I won't say who because I'm not sure if they want to know. They want everyone to know, I should say. He's lost the cue ball here, but he's okay. He's got options. Running out of chances to get that 2 out of there, though.
Well, that's the nice thing about 8-ball. You got options, right? And we've been playing 9-ball and 10-ball for so long over COVID that You know, like you don't have any options. You got to land on the 3 ball. You got to land on the 4 ball. Got to land on the 5 ball. I was just saying earlier how I really had to think about how to rack a rack of 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done it in so long. Yeah, Adam, he totally does that. He just gets on a roll. He plays really good.
Larry's just he puts in a lot of time
He
too.
does. He's
Even through the pandemic, he was playing Ghost League and he was still getting reps in. We were playing sets every, I'd say once every
Weekly?
2 weeks,
weekly,
probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah, he's one of the. He's same as Steve. Like pays his dues. You know, throws around 20s, 40s, just cheap sets, just to play some great players.
Well, and Larry and I played for 20s for years, and then through the pandemic, we stepped it up a slight notch.
Yeah.
A little more than 20 now, so it's fun, but we're not playing for enough that anyone's hurt
Right.
when they lose. You know.
Yeah. And that's honestly, I think that's kind of like the secret to playing sets against friends. You got to keep it light, but for
Absolutely.
something, right? Because
Yeah.
you know it's stupid for pool to come in between lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
You know,
And it can't happen.
creates stupid arguments and all that kind of stuff. It's silly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my advice to you guys: playing for cheap sets, keep it friendly between friends.
Jarrett wants to know, is there a great advantage to playing 9-ball as you develop? Absolutely, Jarrett. I could make an argument for every game as you're developing.
The nice thing that I like about playing 9-ball or 10-ball is that it definitely helps you with moving around the table, getting on specific balls, because the argument being in 8-ball, you have 7 or 8 other balls to land on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whereas in 9 or 10 ball, you only have 1 ball to land on. So you need to be able to travel that table, stop those shots, go 2-3 rails, which that's really helped me this year.
Yeah, you're moving the ball more for sure. That's
Missing a lot of shots, but I'm moving the ball more.
that's all part of the
You
process.
just got to wait for everything to come together. To integrate everything together, that is key.
Is there a when you should start doing it? I think just right from day one. If you're talking about when you should start playing other games,
Yeah.
I don't think you should limit yourself to one game. I think you can learn something from every game. Snooker, 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, straight pool. I shot a match, or shot a ball in
That was
my
a nice
first
shot.
match. That was like a 2-rail angle into the back of the corner ball if I was playing straight pool. And I thought, I shoot this ball all the time playing straight pool.
Yeah.
And it was way easier, less pressure, because I
Right.
shoot it all the time. But you see those certain shots in every game.
Yeah.
In 9-ball, I find there's that kind of extreme follow through with top out or inside spin when you're trying to go like 3 rails. You see it a ton in 9-ball.
Right.
Never see it in 8-ball.
Right.
So certain games have certain shots.
Yeah. Well, and you hear the commentators, especially commentating on the pro matches as well. Like, oh my God, what a great shot that was. Well, that's because he plays one pocket.
It's
you
a
know,
one-pocket
like,
shot. You
yeah.
hear it all the time.
You- A typical player wouldn't necessarily see that shot.
No, if you're kind of stuck to one game. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then the argument is, I mean, you have all these different facets that are always changing. You're always developing. You're always growing and learning. Then it becomes an issue of being able to change gears. So you've been playing a lot of 9-ball over the pandemic, and then you come to 8-ball, and it's more about, you know, smaller cue ball placement rather
Yeah.
than traveling the table. So
Yeah.
changing those gears.
Definitely learning how to change gears is very key. Because you don't want to just get kind of stagnant where you're stuck playing one game because there's a tournament coming up. You know, you still want to put in time playing different games, but
And something that I wanted to start doing too was start playing a little bit more on the 9-foot, because I feel like, you know, I think that I need to let my stroke out a little bit more.
absolutely, absolutely.
I've got the bar box arm, right? It's
Yeah,
kinda,
where you don't have to follow through a lot.
kind of stabby, you know.
Do you want the B-side at 11 a.m. tomorrow?
Okay. Okay. Let me go deal with the draw thing.
Oh, yeah.
1 sec.
But my suggestion is 11 a.m. tomorrow, yeah.
Open at 11, start at noon, or open at 10.
He'll
start
open at
11?
10. He doesn't mind opening early, right?
Yeah, that's the thing though. We forgot to confirm with him before he left.
Yeah, but you can ask one of the girls
He
now.
left his phone here.
Oh. So open at 11, start at 12, yeah.
Right. I don't know. I would prefer to open at 10 and start at 11.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
You go
yeah.
figure it out.
I need to find a way to get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm. Teammates are there watching and everything, says Jarrett. Nice. And glad we could help your game, pal. That's what we're here for. Most people who like to watch pool, they're trying to learn something. I know when I watch pool, that's mostly why I'm watching. I mean, I love the pressure moments, and sports is just exciting to me, so I watch a lot of sports because I like watching how people perform under pressure, but I think most people watch pool hoping to learn something. I know I always do, every time I watch. Never ending this game. You're always learning. Meanwhile, back to the match here. Looks like Ozzy's got himself in a great spot to try to regain his 2-game advantage. I think he was playing down to the 5 there, and now he's kind of got a bit of an awkward angle on the 1. Shouldn't really matter. It's kind of like a punch with delayed draw, if you can imagine that. He kind of punches it and the draw delays just a hair. He got perfect. 8 over the hole. This is 5-3. Aussie race to 7. Awesome to hear, Jarrett, that you've been watching some snooker too. Definitely you can learn something from that game. Playing it can blow your mind because you have to hit the ball extremely perfect to even have a chance at running 6 balls in a row. So it's very good for the game. You can kind of harness in your fundamentals. My first round match is shown as 7-0 win. Is this a forfeit situation? Is Rick going to just join in the B side in the second round? Dave, no. I broke really good. A couple that I didn't hit good worked out good anyway, and Rick only made 2 mistakes. Great player. I know Rick fairly well from Kamloops. Plays in the Ghost League as well. He's doing some work in Airdrie, which is about 20 minutes north of Calgary here. So it just happened to work out that he was in town or near town and could play the tournaments too. But yeah, it's not often you see 7 zeros in an alternate break 8 ball, but it does happen. And yeah, Dave, if you could post the challenge link for Jarrett there, that'd be swell. Kevin, you got it right. Getting used to things slowly going back to normal. It is quite a treat. Is it worth investing in a snooker cue to play snooker or not really, Ben? I would say, Jarrett, it depends how much you play. Or, I mean, if you're only going to play maybe once a month, it can't hurt to have a cheap snooker cue. You don't need anything spectacular. You just need something with a good tip on it that rolls straight. So it doesn't have to be spectacular. So it's probably best to invest in one. I bought one a couple years ago. I ended up selling it because I'm just not playing enough. So it wasn't really worth, having it sit around, collect dust. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend playing snooker with your, 8-ball, 9-ball cue. It's too big. The balls are smaller, so you do need a smaller tip, smaller cue. And thanks, Dave. It does happen. Those 7-0s are not very often, but if you guys were watching last night, I mean, alternate break 9-ball, and Aaron just made a bunch of early mistakes, and I was up 9-0 really quick, so it can happen. McDermott Ash won. There's so much out there, Jared. It's just a matter of, yeah, I would probably recommend an Ash cue. That's most popular in snooker for sure. Let's see if Steve can get out shooting solids here. Looks not bad. 7-ball is right by the red stripe, right near the middle of the table. That is the only sort of tough ball, but I'm sure it goes in the bottom right and in the top left. So the 5-ball will probably lead him to that fairly easy. Shoot the 2 or the 3 here. I think I like the 2-ball and stop if he can. If he's not straight, then yeah, maybe the 3 first. Because this shot jacked up is extremely tough. To get precise shape, yeah, he went into the ball. I think he has the 2 here. It's got to be very close. If not, this 1-ball is no walk in the park either. Yeah, there you go, Jarrett. Somebody in the YouTube chat says it's nice to have a snooker cue. Get one. Looks like Grant is in quite the battle over there. I can't see what the score is, but they have been playing for a little while. This will most likely be the last match of the first round. One of the last matches. These guys started quite late because we were trying to turn the camera around a little for them. Oddly enough, Nick and Janry's match happened to end at the perfect time, really. I mean, 5 minutes earlier would have been ideal, but it ended like right as the tournament was starting. Couldn't have timed it better. Almost like they knew it would take 5.5 hours for that. So Steve's got a little funny here, but the 7 goes by the 11 into the bottom right. He just needs to put a big stroke on this ball, I think, if he's trying to draw back for the 5 next. Looks like he's hitting high on the ball. Stunning over for the 1 in the side. That's a good shot as long as he gets there. Now it's very difficult if he's on the wrong side of this ball. He needs to play some really controlled inside spin here, but I think he's close enough to straight that it's not too bad. Thomas Flynn wants to know if I got action tonight. No, it's looking like not tonight. It's looking like probably tomorrow night, which is okay. We will play whenever it works. But I do have one more match tonight. I know that much. They're doing 2 rounds of the A side, so I played 1. I got 1 more. Waiting for the winner of Mike Nusler and Chan Lee Some of you CSL, IPL players might know Mike from the league. Looking on challenge for the tournament, it doesn't show. Dave, I'm not 100% sure where the bracket is, but I can look into that for you guys. We'll try to make sure we get it posted. I'm sure it's posted somewhere, but I am not sure where. Big mistake from Steve there is probably going to cost him the entire match because it's going to be Aussie's break next. Of course, Kevin Osborne, known to all of us as Aussie. Oh, and there you go, Jarrett. Someone on the YouTube is saying, check out Woods Snooker Cues. Great prices, nice selection. Ash Cues comes with a case and extensions. And he says, get some extra tips for the inevitable. Luckily, we have a tip repair guy, our man Nick, with Nick's Cue Innovation. He's got every kind of tip you can possibly imagine. Awesome. Eric Ritter, my man. Thank you, Eric. Posted the challenge bracket link there, which I think you guys will probably have to copy and paste into your browser. I don't think clicking on it will work, but it's there. Oh, he didn't get into that ball at all. He might be okay, though. I think the side bank is on. He could play a cheeky little safety, but I don't think it holds much value. Kind of like nudge this ball in front of the 5 and keep the cue ball behind the 8. Yeah. I didn't think he would do it, but it's not a bad shot. The problem is Steve's got such a big ball here to hit this 5, and he doesn't really want to make it. He just needs to hit it and keep the cue ball down there and get the 5 even closer to the hole, and then there's no safe for Aussie to return. And you can't float that ball on the side from there, and you can't bank it. Like, if you can imagine the cue ball being the 5 and you're shooting that stripe, what do you do with it? Jarrett, there was no link on the YouTube, but Woods Snooker Cues. Just WOOD. Oh, he went 2 rails and made it and got super unlucky to kiss that ball. That's just terrible luck. He made a really good shot there. If he just misses that ball, he's getting shape all day long. And Jared, honestly, there's so much good stuff out there when it comes to snooker cues. Just, my suggestion would be to be careful with them being shipped from far, because the ash tends to warp, which Nick can always fix for you, but best to get something straight right from get-go. So Steve's trying to find some sort of safe here, and it's really just send the cue ball behind the 8 off 3 rails. There's not much else, like flick the left side, our right side of the 1. With, just a touch of left spin, kind of top left, and send the cue ball 1, 2, 3 to the 4th rail. This is not terrible, but he's not the favorite in this rack by any means. Ozzy kind of has control here now. He can flick this ball and leave Steve really long again, or he can play a bank with sort of a two-way cue ball. Few options. See what he does. Just waiting for Lan is on the table beside shooting. So he could potentially try to cut this in the side too, but I feel like it's a risky shot. It doesn't really give you a two-way, so he's just gonna play the safe. And I don't mind this, but he wants that stripe to get back out in the way of the bank. Trust me, he did not want to leave Steve a free bank shot here. Really big shot for Steve in this match. Kind of a do or die shot here. And he drilled it, but oh my goodness, how unlucky is that? And there's really not much you can do there. Like, you have to make the bank. So you just got to let the cue ball fly, but it caught like a hair of force follow. And that's why it ended up there. That's really bad luck. Because you don't really expect it to force follow from that distance. It's not like he was hitting it that hard. Let's see if he can kick this and get the cue ball up near that top rail. He can at least make Ozzy play a tough shot. Oh, and he played it soft. I think he had to play it with speed towards that side and just hope the cue ball got long if he didn't make it, but might not have mattered. That ball is in the open enough that even if he got the cue ball frozen on that end rail, Ozzy might have still cut it in. Nonetheless, 6-3, Mr. Osborne. And actually, Jarrett, you might want to just give Nick a call. I'm sure he could build you a shaft. I would almost guarantee it. The nice thing about going to someone local like that, and I'll suggest this for all of you people out there, if you go to someone local, somebody that you know well, you kind of get a good warranty. They're not gonna ruin their name around any pool scene by, you know, doing bad work and not covering it. So if Nick did happen to build a snooker shaft and it didn't play the way that you wanted it to, then he would alter it or give your money back, sell it to someone else that does like it, something like that. But yeah, definitely, Jared, I would call him first. Straight in the side off the break by Ozzy. Keeps Steve alive in this match. If he can get out here and break and run, he's going to put some pressure on Ozzy's break. 6-5 looks a lot different than 6-3 when it's, you know, it's your last break of the match. So this could be big for Steve here if he can just work his way out, and it's pretty routine now, so it's more about the next break. He's going to cheat that ball lots, hit it thin. He wanted to hit a little thinner. So the cue ball would travel more. He hit it sort of thick and it made it stop. Didn't go very far.
This air conditioning's getting a little chilly now. Brought a coat.
Not where he wanted to be, but he's on the 9. The problem is now the 8 is just a little tougher. I'd rather not use the 11 as your out ball, but 8 ball's all about just making it work. You just get in spots and you just figure it out.
What's happening here is, are we struggling? What's happening?
No, he's really only made, one glaring mistake, but hasn't had it easy either. Aussie's been playing pretty good by the looks of it. Noon tomorrow, start.
11 tomorrow.
You
start.
did get a hold of the boss.
Well, we talked to Ashley, and Ashley was told to come in for 10.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Often,
perfect.
yeah, often he does
Yeah.
give
Well,
that hour.
and we just
extra
wanted to
in.
make sure because we didn't want to assume, and then people stuck outside for an hour, So wanted to try and get a hold of him, but he had left his phone here, so that didn't help.
That's perfect, though.
Yeah.
He works too much, so I'm glad he left his phone here.
Get there.
It's perfect.
No problem.
And he's breaking next, so this can definitely turn around very quick if he can get out of the next rack. Put some pressure on Aussie's last break. That's funny you brought up the AC because, earlier I was freezing. As soon as it started raining like that, I went outside, I caught a chill, and I came in here and I was cold.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself that I should have brought a coat. It is a little bit chilly.
There's a not happy Zemp.
Grant
Did
is
not
on-
play good, he said.
No.
I don't like making excuses for people. Oh no, who am I kidding? I love making excuses for people. It was so hot all week, incredible to work outside this week. So he was outside all week working in this
Yeah.
stupid heat, and it's really hard to play good pool after that.
Up at 5, on the job by 6.
Yeah, not to mention sleepless, because when you go
Home-
home, it's too hot to
Home
sleep
by
too.
2, but it's too bloody hot to go to sleep at a
Yeah.
reasonable time.
Crazy. It's so draining. That heat is so draining.
And now it's like, it's rained so much today, so now it's super muggy.
But as Joey says, way better than how hot it was. I'll take a little chilly over
It's true.
that blazing heat. Was crazy.
I kind of came unprepared. I didn't bring myself a coat or anything.
I didn't either. It's like total rookie. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to rain today, and I did not bring a sweater.
Right?
Yeah.
You always know to dress in layers. I
yeah.
forgot my layers.
The first thing Sam said to me is that your mom didn't teach you that when you were younger? Yeah, for sure she did. You live in Calgary, always bring a sweater.
Always. I told my kids to.
Oh, the weather changes in 5 minutes. Could be snowing out there
That's
when we
right.
go out right now.
Too busy looking after the kids that we forgot our own.
Yeah, they're always prepared, yeah. It's okay if we're cold.
Speaking of kids, did you watch that stream last night?
I listened to a little bit when I got home before I went to bed
Did
and
you?
right before I went to sleep. The last thing I heard was you were talking about the change that he had. And he was like, "I'll just put in the donation jar." And you're like, "You're definitely Ben's son." And I had a ear-to-ear grin falling asleep. I was so happy.
Yeah.
He's such a good kid.
So cute. Because he had his 4 quarters,
Mhm.
and he's like rubbing them like right in the mic. I'm like, no.
I saw him doing that. He's like
I'm like,
tapping.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's the cutest thing ever for sure. I told Grant this morning, I said, we might be out of a job soon.
Yeah, he was super
Kid's
cute.
going to take over.
Yeah, and then did you hear him burn me a couple times?
See, I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but I'm going to. That's definitely one I'm going to listen
I'm
to
like-
the whole thing.
I said something like, it'd be super great if, Ben could give me some tips because I think I could really use some lessons, some tips. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
He said a couple of things. I'm like, wow.
He's witty. He's very
He's
witty.
super witty. I'm like, you're going to fit right in.
Which is so typical of, like, my family,
Yeah.
especially my mom's side of the family. They're very funny.
Sarcastic.
And they're, like, very witty, right?
Yeah. He
So
is definitely
It doesn't
that.
surprise me that it rubbed off on him.
Oh, you're lucky your nose is already broken.
I heard that one. Yeah, it's funny. I could see him giggling. Yeah. Got to start them young. I was happy to see when you put a headset on him.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
pretty
like,
funny.
hey, come on over here. Because I knew he was,
He's getting bored.
I felt like he was getting a little bored. And it was just perfect that you were playing.
And he did so good to sit here all day like that.
Yeah.
And I wait, until an age where it's kind of reasonable, but he's still a little bit young
Yeah.
to
Oh,
spend
he's
that
only
much
8.
time in the pool.
Only 8.
But
so
he loves the game.
Yeah.
So it's a little different too. And I know throughout his life, he's going to spend a ton of time in pool rooms.
Yeah, condition him young.
Might as well. Condition him to do commentary young too. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Yeah, he did super great.
He's not shy. The furthest thing from shy.
He is definitely not shy.
Which can be good and bad, but mostly just very good, especially for pool. It's a very social game. One for the record books for sure. I saw
he was
Clark.
cute.
I think Clark was watching too. He tagged my mom.
Oh,
this
did he?
Or this morning or last night.
Oh,
Little guy is doing commentary. So my mom went back and listened to it, I think, today.
yeah, it was super great. I could tell he was starting to get a little wily and
Mhm.
impatient and whatever. So,
Yeah, he did so good
yeah.
to sit here all day. We had Denny's breakfast as a reward this morning.
Oh, nice.
See what Steve can do here. He's got to force through 2 rails, miss the 12 and the 13. Oh, and he hit both.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was not an easy shot to spin
No.
around like that because he had to go below the 5 and play the 5 into a bottom corner.
Yeah.
And then the 8 was still going to be super tough, right?
Yeah, covered up. Those 2 corners were covered.
I don't think it'll take long for Ozzy to clean these balls up. One good shot here. He does need to play a good positional shot right now. But then I think it's pretty routine. I was thinking about shooting the 13 first, but I think he shoots it next. And he just got down there and had a good look at where he needs to be, so just roll this ball. Just a little touch. Oh, a little further, he came up short. The 12 goes.
Does go to the corner. It's tight though. I'm sitting right in line with it. It just gets by that 13.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, he overcut it.
Ooh.
He had a ton of room. Sometimes it's so deceiving, I could look from this side when I'm like at the table, and then I look from the other side, and I'm like, wow, there is way more room than I thought.
Yeah, and some things look like super tight on the screen, but when you look at it
Oh, and
in real life, there's
especially
like
on
a
the screen,
big
yeah.
gap,
Especially on the screen.
Yeah, Joey was listening last night when he was commentating. His name is Ryder Joey.
Yeah, a few prouder moments in my life than that.
There it is, just to finish it off. 7-4 for
And
Ozzy over Steve.
somebody asked if there were any ladies. David Wilson wanted to know if there are any ladies playing. There are
Shirley and Lan.
a couple, yes.
Shirley and Lan.
Usually more. Michelle is helping Larry run the tournament, and Steph is also helping run the tournament.
We're a little all over the place.
So
It's
that
tough to
would-
play when you got
Yeah.
multiple jobs.
So I think we'll shut this down and restart it for the next match. We're going to readjust the camera a little bit, I think, as well.
All right, I'll help you do that.
make sure if you guys haven't already, subscribe on the YouTube and like and follow the Facebook.
We're following the chat on the YouTube as well, guys.
We'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes, I would think. It won't be long.
Yep, these matches are going pretty quick. So another A-side